This is one of my favourite ways to cook fish, delivering a perfect lunch or dinner every time and full of flavour hacks using everyday ingredients. Succulent salmon steamed in the bag with a spicy chorizo and almond and roast pepper sauce. So we're going to buddy up beautiful salmon with chorizo sausage, that fantastic classic Spanish sausage. Let's push the protein to one side. I'm going to make a sauce. It's going to be quick, sweet and delicious. What it does need is the help from a liquidizer. So in there, I'm going to put half a tin of chickpeas, juice and all, red peppers, half a jar of these. They're sweet, they're smoky, they're outrageously tasty. A little pinch of salt, a little pinch of pepper, and a little handful of almonds. Now, you can use regular almonds. These are smoked almonds. They taste amazing, smoky and gorgeous. So we'll whiz that up with just a little swig of vinegar and a kiss of extra virgin olive oil. This will give you the most amazing ruby red sauce. It's that simple. Okay, let's just have a little taste. Oh, sweet and delicious. I want to show you a preparation for the fish. I've got two very typical salmon fillets right there. You want to score into the skin about 1 centimetre, right? And you can do that twice. We can put things into these little cuts and we can add flavour. Also, it'll help it cook quicker. So win-win-win. I'm gonna season it first, but also herbs, parsley, mint, basil, gorgeous. So as that fish cooks, the flavour from those herbs is gonna go straight into that fish. And then we've got a sausage just winking at me. Just cut it up, little thin slices. But what we love about this is their use of spices, paprika, garlic, herbs. The great thing about chorizo is it really does make everything taste better. OK, we're going to make our own little envelope to cook all this. So get yourself some wide tin foil. I go for just over 1 metre and then fold it in half just so it's more robust. So I'm going to put my sauce on one side. And then if you wanted to spike this with any veggies, asparagus, peas, broad beans, you can. I'm just going to go for those few little leftover chickpeas. Go in with the chorizo, just scatter it in and around. That's going to cook in the sauce. And then we'll lay on top these beautiful salmon fillets. Look at that. So we'll kiss it with a little olive oil. And what we're going to do is make our little tin foil bag. First of all, just bring in the edges. We don't want to have any sauce escaping. A little tight nip like that, nice and tight. And then we've got the last one, 1 centimetre turn, 2 centimetres. So look, now we've made the envelope. As it cooks, the sauce boils, it steams, it hits the top of the bag, then it rains down. Beautiful moisture on the fish. It gives you the most amazing flavour and succulence. Now get yourself a tray. We won't be getting it dirty, but we'll use it to cook it in. And the lovely thing about this, you can put whatever combo you want together. You can go Asian flavours, you can go curry flavours, you can go like tomatoes, olives, different fish. You can even do chicken breasts. Brilliant. So let's get these in the oven at 220 degrees Celsius, which is 430 degrees Fahrenheit, about 15 minutes, and then I'll show you. So you can see the bag has puffed up. Let's get it out. Oh, come on! What I like to do is fancy it up in a little platter, like this. By the way, clean, no washing up. Happy days. And then get a knife and just break it. And be careful not to burn yourself. So imagine taking that to the dinner table. A bit of excitement. It smells absolutely amazing. Give it a little kiss of lemon juice in those little gaps. Look at that. And I love just to serve it with some nice crusty bread to mop up all of the juices. Let's have a little try. I love it. Every now and again you come across a little bit of chorizo, chickpea. Wow. It's just the most fantastic way to cook fish. A £1 wonder or a 1 bag wonder, it doesn't matter. Give this a go, you're gonna love it. This is my twist on a retro classic. It's an open en croûte. Instead of a whole puff pastry case, it's got an incredible cheese sauce topping, tender, flaky salmon, and the most amazing stuffed crust. It's super easy to make, but deeply satisfying. A real centerpiece at any family gathering. It all starts with the salmon. Every now and again, there's a glut of farmed salmon. And these little bad boys are on deal in the supermarket. Take advantage of that. Have it skinned and pin-boned, and you've done no work at all. The pastry isn't going to eat into your time either, because I'm using 375 grams of ready-to-roll all-butter puff pastry. I don't really want you to make puff pastry. You have got more important things to do. But all-butter puff pastry is a joy. They've even rolled it out for you. Now you can spend some time and care on the really tasty stuff, beginning with the herby spinach filling for my stuffed crust. In a large pan, heat up a slug of olive oil and a knob of butter. Then slice up 2 cloves of garlic. So this is going to be the beginning of the journey of making it taste gorgeous. For all you people out there that don't like greens, you have to trust me, this is awesome, right? Dice up 2 onions and add those to the pan, along with half a bunch of fresh oregano leaves, and fry gently on a medium heat for about 10 minutes. See how the onions have turned colour a little bit? Beautiful. So there's sweetness there now. This is going to really give incredible flavour. Go in with 750 grams of frozen spinach and another 250 grams of any leafy greens and herbs you want. Things like basil, you've got things like rocket, watercress. I've got some little flowering fennel here. Beautiful. I've got some dandelions here from the garden, super nutritious. I've even got stinger nettles, right? Yes, they sting. You can put rubber gloves on if you're not as strong as me. But pick these smaller leaves and they're delicious, full of the good stuff. And as soon as you cook them, the sting goes. Gently sweat the whole lot down for 15 to 20 minutes or until all the moisture's gone. Season and leave to cool completely. Meanwhile, you can get on with the gorgeous cheesy sauce. So the classic sauce was a bechamel. I want to take it on a little bit. I want to give it some more. Start off by melting a knob of butter in a medium hot pan and throw in 1 sliced leek. And then I'm going to add a little kind of curveball. 50 grams of beautiful sun-dried tomatoes. It's going to give it a lovely rosé tint. You know, that sweetness, that sunshine flavour will be in there. Let that slowly cook for about 10 minutes. And once it's all softened, pour in about 100 ml of nice white wine. And we want to cook that away, right? We definitely don't want a winey sauce. That's not nice, but we do want the kind of essence of the effort and care in that wine to be left. Stir in a tablespoon of plain flour and 250 millilitres of milk. Simmer for 5 minutes, then pour all of it into a blender. We're going to go in with a little cayenne pepper, just for a little kick, a little bit of background warmth. Finally, grate in 50 grams of tangy red Leicester cheese. I kind of use the cheese as a seasoning, but that's going to really help it gratinate as well. Absolutely gorgeous. And just whiz it up. Right, so here we go. Silky smooth. Off the chart. Now you can start assembling this beauty. Okay, so this is a fun bit. This is when it's a bit like an Airfix model, right? You want to bring it all together. Roll out the pastry further if needs be. So there's a 10cm border around the fish for that gorgeous stuffed crust. Then, on with the spinach. Just use a spoon to push that spinach nearly to the edge. Leave a little bit of pastry there like that. Season the salmon, then lay it on top and simply roll up the sides. Now you can see, as I kind of turn this like this, what it's doing is creating that lovely stuffed crust. And then on the edges, there's no sort of right and wrong way. I'm just going to push it and crimp it. The thing about puff pastry is it's very forgiving. It's going to kind of cook into itself. So if it's not pristine now, it will cook into something beautiful. Pour over the cheesy sauce, give the pastry a quick egg wash, and finish with a lovely garnish of oiled oregano flowers. They'll smell incredible, they'll look incredible, and they'll go super crispy as well. Bake right on the bottom of the oven at 220 degrees Celsius, 425 Fahrenheit for 30 to 40 minutes, until the pastry is crisp and the top is golden and gratinated. This is at about 35 minutes. I've turned it once around in the cooking just so it's even. Come on. So there you go. My homage to the retro beautiful thing that is salmon en croûte. Time to plate up. I'm keeping it simple and serving it with buttery new potatoes and a zingy watercress salad. This is one update your friends and family are gonna love. Let's go. Go in for the salmon. You can see how flaky this is. It's crispy at the bottom. Let's get in there. Oh, so good. The sauce just protects the fish and it's got a lovely flavour. You know, the spinach was absolutely worth that love and care. And that, my friends, is a glorious meal that I know you're gonna love. So look, I wanna do a delicious, quick, healthy, colourful lunch for me and Jules, and I wanna reflect a bit of optimism in the food. Colour, excitement, textures. So I'm gonna do a kind of made-up dish that I've been fantasising about, beautiful salmon tacos. You know, that little flatbread, flaky salmon, salsa, that's what I'm after. It starts with the salmon. We will go in with salt, give it a nice little season up with salt and pepper. And then I really get excited about the idea of spice combinations, allowing the everyday to go somewhere exciting or another part of the world. So this is a Cajun rub, right? It's a blend of spices, things like paprika, oregano, thyme, a little chili, you know, they smell amazing. So look, I'm gonna sprinkle this on the salmon and be very, very generous. So really make a little job of just rolling that salmon and packing that spice around it. And once you kind of really compact it around the salmon, boring, this will no longer be. So let that just sit and kind of take in that flavour. Let me just wash my hands. Okay, salsa. Texture, vibrance, excitement, sweetness, sourness, attack. That, for me, is what a salsa is about. You can spend all day doing all kinds of things, and it might be the salsa that takes you 3 minutes that makes that rock. So, let's do this. I've given these a nice little wash. All I'm gonna do is quite delicate preparation. So, cherry tomatoes, half it and quarter it. It's quite nice to use a variation. And honestly, a good salsa in your life and a little bit of just focus and attention. It's super easy. Then I'll go in with spring onions. And again, thinking delicate. Do you know what? I could not genuinely be happier than being outside, just cooking, listening to that lot. I love it. With the green part of the spring onions, we'll go as fine as we can again. Different flavors will come through. And then here, just take 4 or 3 little bits of basil, right? And then I just roll it up. Could be mint, it could be parsley, it could be coriander, whatever you choose. And look here, purple basil. And then look where it's gone into flower. It's very beautiful. I'll take that. And these are amazing in a salsa. And then avocado. You know, God, my family love these. Try and get a spoon that mirrors the size or shape of the avocado. Put your spoon in between the skin and the flesh, and just ease it in and kind of hold the spoon against the skin, and you'll find it just cups it out so beautifully, and you get that amazing little lobe. Avocado can discolour and oxidize, so a good little trick is to get some acid, lemon, lime, orange, give it a little roll, and then I'll save half for serving my taco, and then I can just squeeze a little bit of juice on this, and it kind of seasons the avocado in a lovely way, but also protects it. It will stay really fresh and green. Little delicate, thin slices. I will add a little chili. I don't want it to be hot, but I like the freshness that a chili gives you. Already, it looks like an amazing summery rainbow. Painter's palette. Then fruit. I'm using a mango. It's gotta be a ripe one, right? If you can't get that, pineapple. If you can't get that, grapes, blueberries, strawberries, anything delicious, sweet and sour. You've got the little stem here. So the lobe goes this side. So I'm just gonna put my knife in I'll hit the stone, and then I'm just angling my knife around it, and then just move the mango around, edging off that stone. There's the stone there, you see. I only need half. Take this mango into about 4, and then it's really easy to get my knife under the skin. And once you've got it under the skin, you just literally bend the mango down and rub the knife against the skin, right? It's so colourful, even the bees are floating around. Okay, so now I've sliced up all that beautiful salsa stuff. All I'm gonna give it is a nice seasoning of salt and then a good squeeze of lime juice, and that will be an amazing little salsa. So what I'm gonna do is put my salmon on and get these going. I'll go skin side down. By going skin side down, it's kind of protecting the fish. It's gonna go crispy. I want the salmon to be kind of coloured, but kind of blushing on the inside and flaking just beautifully. When I did this recipe first time round, I did it indoors on a non-stick pan on a medium-high heat for about 3 minutes on both sides. It's gonna be so nice. Let me just wash my hands. Next up, let's do the flatbreads as I'm cooking the salmon. It's super, super simple. So you want 4 heaped tablespoons of self-raising flour. So for every little taco, 1 tablespoon. And then 4 tablespoons of water go in, and that should make you perfect tacos. I want a little bit of salt in there just for seasoning, and a little kiss of oil. Super simple. So many of us buy tortillas from the supermarket, and you can just make your own so fast. It's like a 40-second recipe. So move it around. As the bowl starts to be cleaned, we can get it out, and then I can just give it a little knead on a board. Once you've given it a nice little knead up, just divide that into 4. Take one of those balls. I've got a little flour here just to dust, and we'll just dust away and roll these out thin. They take no time at all. So if I look at the salmon, it's probably ready for a turn now. The skin is looking amazing. Wow. So look, once you've rolled your tortillas out, grab like any plate, dish, saucer, little bowl, and you can cut around it. We can settle for rustic and a little bit wonky, or make it a little bit more perfect. I love both. I love rough and ready, and then perfect just makes me feel like you've cared a little bit. Okay, so let's have a look at what we got here. Salmon is doing very, very well. And what I can do, which I love to do, is just grab one side and pull that skin off. Look at that. And it's highly likely that this bit could be the best bit of the whole meal. Crackling, crispy, spicy. So I'll lay that onto the bars and that will render out, and then put this salmon back on that peeled side. Can you see that skin sizzling? Look at that. Oh, the flavour, the texture. My kids fight for it. Like even River, he's 3.5 and he knows. He's like, give me the skin. Give me the skin. No, seriously, like, he'll take mine. But what's really interesting, it's still malleable and still sort of quite soft, but the minute it starts to cool down, it goes crispy. So if I take like a rolling pin like this, and I took this skin and just put it over like that, you can kind of get these crazy waves and shapes. Look at that, getting crispy and gnarly. Beautiful. And I can tell that the salmon is cooked gorgeously. If I just apply a little bit of pressure, it just flakes beautifully. Look at that. That in the taco is going to be amazing. So, this to one side. Let's get these tortillas cooking. And look, they're great on a barbecue, but they're equally fantastic in a non-stick pan on full whack inside, right? That's how I normally do them. Look how cool they look. Look as the heat makes them puff up. Little bit of colour on one side and hardly any colour on the other side. So easy to make. Amazing. So as soon as these come down, they're a little bit crispy. So if you put a little tea towel on top, that will make them steam a little bit, make them more pliable and keep them warm. Okay, let's make a lovely couple of tacos. Optional, sour cream, a tiny bit of yogurt. Then I'm going to take our salmon and I just want to kind of flake it. Then salsa, and I like to mix it at the table so it's fresh. Look at the colour. Optimism, excitement. So let's embellish now. Look at that, fresh flavours. That ain't boring. And the little bit of juice, the juice that runs off of the salsa is so good. And then you've got those crispy bits of salmon skin, and I just like to smash it up to give you that crunch. A few bits of basil, and there you go. The only thing I might do is take a little bit of chili oil. So let's have a try. As I bend it up, look how even more appealing that gets. A little taco of juicy goodness. Oh, it's dripping. Let's have a little go. Oh, wow. There is a dance going on in my mouth, texturally, flavour-wise. The salmon just holds the whole thing together. You got that punch of the Cajun spice that just kind of gets you every now and again. And then there's all the brightness, the rainbow. It's just so good. Wow. For the first time, we're going to do hot smoke in a biscuit tin. And all I've done is got a bit of chicken wire. This supermarket costs nothing. All right, I need to get some wood chips. Now, this is the stuff, to be honest, this is for my rabbits, and it's untreated shavings of wood. Get a handful in here. If you're going to use proper chips, you can use apple oak, cherry wood, you know, all that business. A little layer like that. Get rid of this. Bit of sage, bit of rosemary. That'll all smoke up, would be nice. I've got 2 beautiful salmon fillets, and this is how we go, right? Salt. This is last year's chili oil. I just roasted the dried chilies in the oven for 20 minutes, about 150, and then I put extra virgin olive oil with it, mixed it up, put it in a bottle, lovely. Pat it all over, and the skin, both sides. I'm going to lay this onto the bars. All I've done is get like a nail or a screwdriver, right? Right, hole. Yeah? You want 5 or 6 holes. Whack it on a gas stove. That lid's going to keep all the smoke in there, and it's all going to be getting amongst the salmon. That's going to take 4 or 5 minutes to cook. Really, honestly. Now, in the time that it takes to do that, let's do salsa. 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 Salsa's a fantastic thing. The key to a salsa starts, I think, with a chili, right? And it is that whole sweet sour thing. A couple of tomatoes. I want the freshness, crunchiness of a cucumber. And then I want lime. Lime, oh, how important is lime, right? You want that swing. And then, of course, Mr. Spring Onion, 2 per person, and a pinch of coriander. Lovely. Right, tomatoes, just take the end off. I'm going to just squeeze the pips out down here. Here we go. Slice it up like this. You can do it really roughly. Get the tomatoes in there. Okay, so I've got 3 different chilies here. I'm just going to slice them up at the same time. And you can go as heavy or light on the chili as you so desire. I like it hot, as you can well imagine. Now, chili's going here. Limes. Squeeze the old limes in there with the cucumber. You can leave the skin on if you want. I'm going to take most of it off. Slice it down. Slice across. Just twist it around. Straight in there. And then the glorious spring onion. Cut it in half. And then finally slice that little tiger. And once you've chopped it up, run your knife through it. Chop it up, mince it up. And then coriander. A few nice leaves here to go on top. And then all these stalks, coriander stalks, lovely, nothing wrong there. Crunchy, sweet, full of flavour. Roll it up That's enough. Just a little pinch, more than enough. If I put more coriander than that, I think it's going to ruin it. So, a little pinch of that. At this point, we're going to season with salt. Very important. I'll tell you what I've forgotten. Mr. Avocado. So, half the avocado. Twist it. Click it off like that. Get yourself a spoon. Put the spoon in like this. Just like that. Nice. Slice it across any way you want. And not so classic, but I just like to put a little bit of oil in there just to bring it together. Not too much. You want it to be quite clean. With the spoon, sort of mix it around. Really exciting. I'm all over this. This is great. Let's check this salmon. Please work, otherwise I'll look like a plonker. Yeah, come on! As long as I haven't overcooked it. No, there's a little bit of give there. The colour, it's not burnt, that's the smoke that's stuck to it. Let's get a spoon of this beautiful salsa on here. Come on, Eileen. And that is such a brilliant, brilliant thing. Let's just finish it with a nice bit of oil, half a lime. You know, just to squeeze over the top. Absolutely fantastic. Let's try a little bit. I am so excited to show you this recipe. I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the fish dish of the century. It's a roast, but not as you know it. 2 sides of succulent salmon with a beautiful stuffing of artichoke and almond. Get yourself a clean surface. We're going to use extra virgin olive oil and then have a little rub. Right, we don't want it to sort of stick. I'm going to season the surface with freshly ground black pepper and salt. I'm going to tie the roast up later, so get prepped now with strips of string. Lay out the salmon and season it. Then we're going to create like a stuffing, and we often associate stuffing with roast chicken, you know, stuffing legs of lamb and stuff like that, but we can do this with fish as well. I'm getting the stuffing going with toasted almonds and stale ciabatta. You do get a different flavour from stale bread, with more of a savouriness. Lemon zest and garlic will add some punch. Then just blitz it up. So this is, look, oh, the smell. Toasted almonds and garlic. Okay, so this is the beginning of the stuffing. Just put it along here like that. When that starts to bake, the fats from the fish will go in to the bread here. It's going to be amazing. Next up, we're going to celebrate artichokes. Here's the preserved artichokes. Everyone can get this. It's in all the supermarkets. And if they're in season, you can double your artichoke hit by adding fresh ones. And they're kind of easy to prep. Let me show you how to do it. Just peel back the outer leaves. And then you want to just trim off the end until the light part here. Trim off the base of the stalk. Now, one thing that's important is to use a bit of lemon. And just rub this over the artichoke because these will oxidize straight away. Within 1 minute, they'll go black. And that don't look so cool. So that is your artichoke. Let me show you the choke. Can you see it there like that? It's fluffy. It won't hurt you, but it's not that nice to eat, so we remove it. It's worth the effort, I promise. What's left is truly delicious. Get them into a pan with a good splash of the artichoke oil from the jar. Artichokes go in. Mint and artichokes are best friends. We'll just chop that up like that. Mint goes in. Oh, the smell is amazing. And that's all we need. We don't really need to cook that. We're just heating it through and softening it. And if I just kind of pinch it off like that, look at that. Oh, and that, my friends, is the stuffing with a difference. Season the other side of the salmon and place it on top. And over that, smoked bacon. Its fat is going to melt down right over the salmon. It's going to be beautiful. Top it off with a bunch of fresh thyme. Then tie up your evenly spaced string and parcel this fish up. let's take this beautiful thing and get it into the tray at an angle. Gather up all your bits, put it over the top. And this is food that makes me happy. This I want you to try. To give you the most amazing crispy skin, preheat your oven to full whack, and as soon as you put the fish in the oven, turn it right down to 180 degrees Celsius and cook for 35 to 40 minutes. Come on! Look at that. What a picture, what an excitement. Can you imagine that at the weekend? I can't wait to show you what's happened on the inside. Oh, yes, you know it. Look how juicy that is. Some simply boiled new potatoes and fresh baby spinach complement this perfectly. Let's have a little try. It's really good. The perfume of the artichoke is so good, and the smoky bacon is insane. When feeding your loved ones, a super simple tray bake is your best friend. So I'm pairing up some potatoes, carrots and garlicky green veg with some beautiful salmon fillets in a way you've never seen before. So what I want to do is take your average everyday salmon and make it truly spectacular. A lot of people steam it, roast it, pan cook it. I want to stuff it with the most incredible prawns with a creamy sauce. A little wrap of bacon, it's gonna be so, so good, and it's the easiest thing in the world. So the salmon, what we wanna do is create little pockets. Get a knife, go to the fat part of the salmon, and just gently rock the knife like that, and then we can stuff it and bring some of my favorite flavors together. So first up, creme fraiche. I've got 2 or 3 nice tablespoons in there, and we can really make this incredible by a little salt, a little pepper, and some Parmesan cheese. No flour, no milk, no kind of whisking. Nice little wodge of Parmesan goes in. Mix that up. If you've got things like lemon around, you can scent that with just the tiniest little scrape of zest. And then prawns, these are like standard frozen prawns that I've defrosted. You could use fresh, of course. And my kids just love them. Massive brownie points for prawns, always. So mix that up. Done. It's fast, to the point, and delicious. And I think you need that when you've got a family to feed and other things to do. So look, take your little bit of prawn here and fill it. Try and keep all the nice creamy goodness inside the fish. You can stuff that with anything you've got to hand. You could stuff it with spinach, crab meat. Now, I know Poppy will like this. I think Buddy should be okay. River probably will kick up about the white sauce, but that's tough. We're trying to teach him. I'm gonna just give it a little seasoning with salt and pepper. Now, as I was kind of coming up with this, I was thinking what could make it even better? Well, an answer to that is always smoky bacon. So a little thin rasher of, pancetta, smoked bacon is nice. And I want to kind of twist and wave it around as I do it. So it's kind of holding that creme fraiche sauce. That, to me, looks stunning. Just nestle it in there with the lovely veggies. All I'm going to do now is give it a little kiss of olive oil, just to say I love you. So the one last thing to do, herb. You could use any herb like sage, thyme. I'm going to go for rosemary, and the thing to do is put a little olive oil on the herbs and just have a proper little rub up. And that starts to bring out their natural oils. So rest the rosemary over the fish, and this is just all going to cook together really beautifully. So there you go. In the oven at 220 degrees Celsius for about 12 to 15 minutes. I want it to be sort of beautifully cooked, but a little bit blushing, and I want the bacon crispy. So let's do this. Okay, with the potatoes, what I quite like doing, because they're boiled, right, shake it flat, put it on a low heat, and let that kind of keep warm, but slowly kind of get a little bit caramelised on one side. It's beautiful. Look at that. That, my friends, is a beautiful tray bake. Not just fit for family, but friends, special occasions. A one tray wonder that you will not regret doing. Truly delicious. And then these new potatoes and carrots, see how I've let them just catch on one side? Look how lovely that is. Can you see how the greens have kind of gone crispy? You hear that? Oh, delicious. So come on, let's have a little cheeky taste before my mob, they're coming. Lemon juice, always a joy. Let's get in there. Can you see how lovely and flaky that is? Oh, yes. And it's sort of blushing still. A little bit of bacon. The cream sauce. It's only like a little tablespoon in there. It makes all the difference. By stuffing the salmon, the prawns are protected, the cream sauce kind of pools in that little pocket. That bacon renders its beautiful fat, so the flavour of smokiness is there. And then the greens, with that kind of crispiness and softness, and the garlic, delicious. Come on, guys! What are you waiting for? Buds, thank you, my boy. Thanks, Pops.
Yeah, there's bacon, there's prawns.
Right, do you like potatoes, River? Point to me which one you want. Which one do you want?
That one.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
OK, give me your plate. And you got some broccoli as well.
Are there any prawns?
Yeah, there's prawns right inside. Here, Pep, that's your one. Have you tried how good these carrots are? Buddy, pick those.
So let's get started with a ridiculously quick hot smoked salmon pasta. A truly luxurious dish for when time is tight.
Let me show you an absolutely spectacular pasta dish, a meal for two that is so fast.
For a taste sensation, get some sustainable hot smoked salmon, fresh asparagus, an unwaxed lemon, dried tagliarini pasta, and gorgeous creme fraiche.
It's so good, you're gonna love it, and it's such a big, flavourful dish for such a quick thing to do. So, pan of boiling water on. Let's start off with the primary ingredient, the hot smoked salmon. You can get it in all the supermarkets. Gorgeous skin, flesh, and that wonderful colour. There's such a lot of flavour for one ingredient right here. So this goes in a pan, dry pan, skin side down, and we're on a medium heat here. What I want to achieve is crispy skin. It's going to be really, really good.
Hot smoked salmon is a total time saver because it's already cooked. So just heat it through and get the skin gorgeously golden.
Now, asparagus. I'm going to use a little gadget, which is a speed peeler, and we're going to just take this peeler from the base to the tip. And what's beautiful is the elegance, you know, the precision. Love that. As soon as it gets tricky, which is about now, that we'll put to the side. So what I'm trying to achieve here, guys, is texture, visual appeal, and of course, the way you cut vegetables and ingredients changes the way it tastes.
Put the ribbons to the side for later. Then chop up the leftover asparagus, removing any woody ends.
Make it quite fine, okay? Because your tagliolini is delicate and you want this to stick around that beautiful pasta. So, salmon's been in there for like a minute. I'm going to turn the salmon and its skin should just peel off effortlessly. And then, a little bit like pork scratchings, I want to get this crispy. So put the skin the other side down, just a little oil, and we're going to go in with the chopped asparagus. And then if you look, you can see it rendering, getting super crispy. As we're doing that, we can use our lovely unwaxed lemon. Just a few strokes. Just the lemon zest gives such flavour. Don't waste it. So look, let's have a little look here. Look at that. You can see how delicate that is. Lovely colour. Beautiful. Big bits, small bits. And of course the asparagus is now sucking up all of that lovely flavour. Look at that. Skin's getting crispier. This is going to be great. Right, this pasta cooks in like 3-4 minutes. I've got boiling water here. Season it. Always important. So you want about 150 grams of dried pasta there. This tagliolini, it has egg in it, so it's a gentle, silky kind of pasta. So just break the pasta up and then let it boil. When that salmon skin is really nice and crisp, look at that. Oh, it's popping and spitting. Take this out, and I'll just put that like that. And then I can introduce lemon juice to this very lovely pan of wonderful flavour. Or literally just move the salmon and asparagus around, and when it's kind of cooked away, I'm just going to grab this pasta and throw it in. You can drain it in a colander if you want, but if you've got tongs, you can do this. Once you've done that, then the last ingredient is wonderful creme fraiche. About a tablespoon goes in, a little bit of relief from the smokiness. And I want to contrast that with the heat from pepper, the generous dusting. And then we can jiggle the pan around. I'm going to add a little bit of cooking water, and this will kind of almost relax the creme fraiche and mix with the beautiful smoked salmon fat. And I'm going to turn the heat off now and just move the pasta around like that. The smell is phenomenal. Look at that. Oh, this is going to be good, guys. It's going to be so good.
Just before serving up, throw the asparagus ribbons into the pan to give them a quick blast of heat.
Look at the colour. Really, really nice. Beautiful. All I do now is go back to my crispy bit of salmon. And you've got every last bit of flavour from that salmon. And if you want to drizzle it with a little oil. Oh, and the important thing about pasta is not to talk, eat. And I love the way when you kind of twinkle your fork around, you get the beautiful asparagus as well. And those little chunks of cooked asparagus with the smoked salmon, crispy bits. Mmm. Big flavour. Big flavour. It's a combo that wants to work. Those 5 things have got to be best mates. Do you know what I mean? You haven't got time for ice breaking. Just got to be best mates. Real food, real cooking, fun to make, and not just quick. Blooming delicious. What are you waiting for? You shouldn't even be watching anymore.
My effortless hot smoked salmon pasta. The perfect combo of truly classy flavours. Served with stir-fried brown rice and a beautiful sunshine salad, this dish is bursting with super nutritious fish, whole grains, plus 3 of your 5-a-day fruit and veg.
So I'm going to cook this beautiful salmon tail. Of course you can use regular salmon fillet, but cooking fish on the bone is really a beautiful thing. You get more moisture, it's more forgiving if you slightly overcook it, and you just don't have to be scared of it.
Start by making 1/2 centimetre deep cuts, about 1 centimetre apart.
Now, why are we doing that? Well, aesthetically, it looks kind of pretty. Well, that ain't a bad thing, but the real reason we're doing it is to get seasoning in there. Also, allow heat to penetrate so it cooks beautifully. You know what? It's almost treating the salmon like a joint of meat. You know, something special. A little bit of time, a little bit of effort makes it something super special. So we want to season it with salt and pepper. Then we got this kind of curveball in there, green tea.
Simply tear open a green tea bag and sprinkle over the fishtail.
If you put that around joints of meat, things like chicken and salmon, oily fish, it just loves it. It tastes incredible. And of course, you've got that slightly Asian, oriental sort of vibe just kind of kicking in there. So just tap the fish in and around all that seasoning. So really, really nice.
Finely slice a clove of garlic and push the pieces into the cuts in the fish.
Because when that garlic roasts, the natural oils will come out of the fish and they'll start to sort of fry the garlic.
Get a teaspoon of sesame oil and pat it onto the salmon skin.
That bit of sesame oil will make all the difference. It will transform and link all of those flavours and seasonings.
Then this needs to cook for around 20 minutes on 180 degrees Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit.
Okay, time to do the sunshine salad. Why is it called sunshine? Because it's colourful.
I'm going for carrots, tomato, chicory and cress. But pick your favourite veg and make it your own. Chop, shave and slice for different shapes and sizes.
Chicory, you might not have tried this before. I cut it in half first, and then you get these lovely cups
and these will catch the dressing. These are kind of sweet and bitter. And then you've got the stalk here. See how beautiful that stalk is? So often people throw the stalk in the bin, but actually this is the most delicious part. So let's just big it up. Beautiful.
Then for a refreshing burst of sweetness, I'm adding mango, because I love it. But you can swap it out for papaya, peach or nectarines. That all adds up to 3 of our 5 a day fruit and veg.
What is a portion of fruit and veg? Well, it's 80 grams. So that's about 90 grams, okay? So that's 1 of your fruit and veg a day.
It's that easy.
I mean, that's already looking very appealing. Time for the dressing.
Squeeze the rest of the flesh from the mango stone and add some lime. Season to taste with low salt soy sauce, and for a final flavour kick, add some red chilli.
And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put this on top of the dressing. I'm not gonna dress it yet. Okay, so there's the sunshine salad, ready and raring to go.
Next, some Icarian-inspired stir-fry rice. Get your pan on a medium heat, peel a thumb-sized piece of ginger, or just scrape it with a knife. This amazing root contains a compound called gingerol, known to have anti-inflammatory properties if you eat it regularly. Now I'm using that all-important brown whole grain rice, which I've pre-cooked and put in the fridge.
Superfoods is about clever little trade-ups, being clever with lots of different things that fill you with good stuff. And trading up from white rice, which I still cook and I still love in certain dishes, that's great, but trading up to whole grains is brilliant.
In the pan, we want a teaspoon of sesame oil and then go in with the ginger.
I want to coat the ginger in that lovely sesame oil, and I just turn it down a little bit. It's a little bit too fast, but what I want to do is just use a spoon. I want to get all the ginger laid out quite flat, and I want to make it go kind of crispy.
Then sprinkle in a teaspoon of sesame seeds.
Once you get a little bit of colour, just going to go in with the cold whole grain rice and just jiggle that about. You know, don't rush it, just bring it back to be sort of hot, soft, and maybe a little bit kind of crispy in some parts as well, which is nice. Okay, let's check our salmon. That's had about 20 minutes. Look at that. Really, really gorgeous.
Time to plate up. Toss the salad in that vibrant dressing, then it's going onto a platter with the ginger whole grain rice. Top it off with the salmon tail.
Let's get in there. You can just lift it like that. Look at that.
Take out the bone and you're ready to dive in.
The salmon is so juicy, and that green tea just gives it that savoury sort of perfume, which is gorgeous. And the rice,
All this flavour for just 600 calories per portion. Plus nutritious fish, fantastic whole grains, and a salad bursting with vitamins.
it's full of the good stuff. Beautiful. Hi guys, we're going to do a gorgeous Food Revolution recipe. Food Revolution is my campaign to celebrate how cool it is to cook, cook with your family, how to live a longer, healthier, happier life. I picked 10 recipes that cover the broad spectrum that if you learn them, can pretty much sort you out for the rest of your life. And this is one of these recipes, crispy skinned salmon, cooked to perfection with homemade pesto, sprouting broccoli, lovely French beans, new potatoes, simple, humble food. If you want to see any of the other recipes from the Food Revolution pack and the 10 recipes to save your life, click up there or look in the information box below. So look, let's see what we've got. I have here, come forth, some new potatoes. The new potatoes I've been cooking for about 10 to 15 minutes. Lovely French beans. These require about 6 minutes. Put those in, the lid will go back on top. We've got our salmon here. 4 lovely pieces of salmon, seasoned with just a little salt. I've got a nice non-stick pan. I've put that on full whack, and I'm gonna go into a cool pan, skin facing up. As that heats up, it's gonna render the natural fat out of the salmon. So that will start frying, then we can turn it onto the skin side and it will go super, super crispy. So it's gonna be crispy, delicious, and in the middle, flaky and juicy. So let's get on with the pesto. First up, half a clove of garlic.
I will go in with a little bit of salt. I'll smash that to a paste. In a pesto, there's always nuts. Now, classically, pine nuts, some people toast them off, and you can lightly toast them. I prefer to leave them raw. You're gonna get a real creaminess from that. So that's about 20, 25 grams of pine nuts. Just bash that up, go in with the basil. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick the lovely smaller leaves into some water. They'll freshen up, and then we'll sprinkle that on top at the very end. Bash up this basil. Now, if you just look at the salmon over there, guys, you can see how the heat thus far has gone up about a centimetre. Overcooked fish is a real waste of money. It's not very nice. So just kind of getting your confidence up with those skills. That's why I put this dish in 10 recipes to save your life, because the principles of pan frying, cooking fish, making vegetables taste delicious, that's what we're after. So look, come down here, we're just gonna turn that over. Notice there's lots of natural oils here now. And I can just turn the temperature down a little bit now, and I'll cook the fish all the way through on the skin side down. I'm gonna go in sprouting broccoli. They only literally need a minute. With the pesto, once you've got it to a nice little paste, I'm gonna go in with a tablespoon and a half extra virgin olive oil. I like to put just a tiny squeeze of lemon juice into this pesto. It's not classic. You can make it smooth or chunky, have a little taste. Very nice. And then about 20 grams of Parmesan. And that balance of the lemon juice, Parmesan, basil, garlic is going to be amazing. So pesto is done. These veggies are cooked. If we cook the veggies in one pan, we're not making loads of washing up, and that's cool too. With the new potatoes, you can either squash them like that, or we can slice them up. While they're kind of steaming and hot, this is the perfect time to get your pesto in there. Just one spoonful is going to completely transform this whole dish. Dress it, sprawl those wonderful greens all over the place, those lovely new potatoes. The smell is phenomenal. Let's get the salmon on, see how juicy it is. That's what we want, absolutely gorgeous. Those little basil leaves that we saved, put those in and around, a little squeeze of lemon. So there's one of the 10 recipes to save your life. Check out the others in the link below. A lovely, simple, everyday dish that's delicious. Let's get in there. You're getting this incredible, crispy skin. Really, really good. And then the pesto, it just tastes totally different when you make it than when you buy it from a jar. It's just non-comparable. So there you go. Until next time, lots of love. Okay guys, no mucking about now. We're gonna cook a whole fish in salt. It's a bonkers, old school method. You can do it at home, and also great to cook for a lot of people. Let's do it.
This dish is a showstopper, and after the rich, heavy foods of Christmas, your friends and family are gonna love these fresh and bright flavours.
I've bought a whole load of rock salt. Get yourself like 4 or 5 kilos, or enough to cover up the fish you're gonna cook. So, first up, a little water. So just a couple of eggs, just cracked in like that, and just scrunch it up. Just a little egg is going to allow the salt to kind of really go firm, like a shell.
The salt will completely encase the fish, sealing all the juices inside.
Let's talk about our fish. I'm going to cook a nice big one, a salmon. Just look at that. The gills are super red. The eyes, look at those, you know it's fresh. Leave the scales on for cooking in salt, always. I've had it gutted. We do not want the salt to go into this cavity. So we're gonna take any fresh herb we can get our hands on. So I've got fennel here, just rip it up. I've got some marjoram, some parsley, some chives, then grab some lemon. That's just gonna create a little humidity in the air. Now let's do the last bit. It's that simple.
The whole salmon costs £10 to £15 a kilo, and you can use whatever size fish you like. A 5 kilo whopper like this will feed about 20 people.
Get yourself a nice big tray, create a little base for the fish to go in. This is a big old boy, so I'm gonna go at an angle, corner to corner. Then simply go over the top with the salt. You want about 2 centimetres of salt under the fish and over and around the fish, because when you kind of heat up that salt, it's just gonna bake hard. it kind of creates like a kind of cocoon, a cave. And then you take it out of the oven, it still carries on cooking in the salt, because this is an oven. This will be an oven. So when you look inside that, you're gonna have the most silky, melt in your mouth, juicy fish ever. And you're gonna think I'm mad, but when you see what it looks like when it's cooked, everything's gonna change. Let's whack it in the oven, 40 minutes, and we'll have a look. Bye-bye, fish.
While that cooks at 200 degrees Celsius, I'm gonna make the ultimate accompaniment. This is a blowout meal for the weekend, so it's all about taking the time to create something special.
Let's make proper mayonnaise. I'm gonna go in with 1 egg yolk. We're gonna start whisking this up. I'm gonna go in with 1 teaspoon of mustard. You wanna add about half a pint of oil. If you add it too quick, it will split, trust me.
After the mild oil, start to add some good punchy extra virgin olive oil to perk it up. And whatever you do, keep whisking.
But when you start doing this, you will go through the threshold of pain, and you can hold it differently and go for more of a shoulder whisk, right? And you'll get knackered again, and then you go for more, a little wrist action. Shoulder, wrist.
Now squeeze in some lemon juice, add a splash of good quality vinegar, and then season to taste. But there's a secret bit. I've got a little trick to make this mayo stand out from the crowd.
Basil. What I want to do is get the essence of basil, okay? So I'm just going to rip it up, a good pinch of salt, and bash it up. I'll put a little bit of oil in there, and then I need to sieve all those bits out. We'll squeeze all the goodness out of it. I'm just making the effort of getting rid of all the stalks, because normally I'm a bit lazy. Bash it up, smash it up, big flavour, get it in. Ooh, I don't mind all that. Ooh, pork chop. But we ain't in that place today. I just did an impression of myself, and it was bang on. OK, back to this mayonnaise. And look at the change of colour. Beautiful, pastel-y green mayonnaise.
Homemade basil mayo, nice. Now back to the fish. It's had 40 minutes, so test it with a knife.
Hold it up to your lip. If it's kind of warm, and I mean sort of like cup of tea out for 10 minutes sort of warm, beautiful. You don't want it hot, because that means you've overcooked it.
Then leave the fish to continue gently cooking in its own salt cave for another 30 minutes. Time for a killer salsa.
You've guessed it, I know, chili.
The punchy kick of the chili will work beautifully with the fresh mint.
Kind of almost equal quantities, look. Yin and yang.
Wow, 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 wow. Hit it with vinegar and olive oil and season.
Have a little taste. Woohoo! Yeah! That's what it does to you.
Now, when it comes to serving up, this meal really makes an entrance.
What's for dinner? Fish and salt? Sorry, what? You have fish and salt, and you just go, and everyone's like, what's going on? And then you start dismantling this cocoon, and everyone's freaked out, and then you start peeling back the skin, and everyone's like, ah! And then you just start portioning up, and everyone's like, ooh. Anyway, moving on. The herbs here have stopped any salt getting inside, and then just peel that skin back. Absolutely amazing. And just look at that.
By cooking it in the salt, all the moisture has been sealed inside. It really is the juiciest fish you'll ever have.
Absolutely gorgeous. Basil mayo. Taking it to the next level. And then our chili oil. That little bit of, you know, every party's got to have someone that's a little bit uncouth. Do you know what I mean? A few dirty jokes. And this is our friend here. You don't want him everywhere, but just on a little corner of the table next to your mother-in-law is good. And that, my friends, is fish cooked in salt with a badass ninja mayo. What up, food tubers? Okay, so we're gonna do a super simple midweek healthy meal. Super beautiful. Pan-cooked salmon, couscous, asparagus, courgettes. It's gonna be really quick. It's healthy, about 600 calories. We're eating the rainbow. We've got 2 of our 5 a day. Pretty much, this is the stuff that my missus loves, okay? Firstly, our carb is couscous, 75 grams per person, 150. Cover it with some boiling water, about a centimetre above where the couscous sits. Basic seasoning goes in. And if you wanted to put a little, I don't know, mint tea bag in there, you could. A slice of lemon in there, you could. Oh my God, a herb in there, you could. So that goes in. And also we'll put our plates above here as well, and you might even get a warm plate instead of a cold plate. So that's a good start. Zero effort, zero work. Our pan here is getting quite hot now, medium-low heat. We've got our lovely fish. 2 beautiful salmon fillets there, skin on, but it's been scaled and it's been pin-boned. It's a lovely oily fish, omega-3, really, really good for you. So what I want to do is show you 2 ways to cook it. Take a salmon fillet like this and slice it into little centimetre slices. This is going to cook in about 2 minutes, so that's proper fast food. I'm then going to have a chunk. Score the skin, and it's going to let the heat in efficiently. So I'm going to put salt and pepper on both. Go skin side down with the chunk into the pan. A lot of people don't like soft fish skin, they pull it off. If you get it crispy, they want to eat it. If you just put your hand on it for 10 seconds, you give full contact to the skin, which means full crispiness. You're going to get like a kind of fish crackling. You see the heat cooking the fish. Couscous is on, fish is on. Let's celebrate some veg. Asparagus, a little handful per person. Grab the end like this and see how it naturally snaps. So that's where the soft, succulent asparagus goes to more complex, woody asparagus, which is going to be chewy. I'm going to cut the asparagus at an angle just because I like it. Beautiful, nutritious veggie. There's our asparagus. Add a little olive oil, and I'm going to add the asparagus. Let's just turn the fish now. Lovely and golden. Look at that. Crispy as you like. The asparagus you can just jiggle around. You can see it's picking up some colour. Next up, zucchini, or courgette, as we call it in England. I'm going to cut it a little bit like the asparagus at an angle. So this goes in there. The sliced fish is going to cook much quicker. I'm going to turn this salmon. Very, very different. It's going to take twice the time. I don't want to overcook this veg. If you keep cooking it, you're going to deplete all those lovely, all the lovely goodness and nutrients in there. But I do want to big up flavour. So I'm just going to take a chilli, remove the stalk, and then I want to get rid of the seeds. Use the tip of your knife to scrape that out, and just finely chop it until you're happy with it. So the salmon is nearly there. The asparagus and courgettes are looking good. Okay, beautiful. So guys, look, the salmon's just come off there. These cook in half the time. They look really beautiful. Let's just do a quick salsa. 3 or 4 nice juicy tomatoes, just hack it up. If you can get them when they're nice and in season, that is half the battle. Different colours, yellows. Basic seasoning, salt, pepper, olive oil, extra virgin if you can. Just about a tablespoon. Lemon juice, it's going to work so well with the salmon. Coriander here, finely chop that. This is going to be tasty. I'm just going to use my hands. That's what's going to give you that kind of incredible salsa. The couscous here has heated my plate up. So I've got 2 lovely warm plates. Can you see how it's swelled up? It's totally fluffy. It's not sticky. Really, really nice. Now what we can do is kiss this with that amazing salsa. Toss it up. This is truly the kind of thing that I'll knock up midweek. Start to finish, 10 to 12 minutes, absolutely. You could have this as a salad the next day. It will get better. You can have it cold. Lovely asparagus, courgettes. Just going to whack it on the top. So you've got your 3 pieces of salmon here. Then you've got your salmon steak here. Beautiful, crispy skin. And then a nice spoon of natural or Greek yogurt. Super, super nice. Works really well with the couscous. Beautiful colours. Having that little light salsa on the top is so beautiful. Look at that, guys. Who said healthy food had to be boring? So I'm going to do a kind of made-up dish that I've been fantasising about. Beautiful salmon tacos. It starts with the salmon. Give it a nice little season up with salt and pepper. So this is a Cajun rub. I'm going to sprinkle this on the salmon and be very, very generous. So let that just sit and kind of take in that flavour. Let me just wash my hands. Salsa. Cherry tomatoes, half it and quarter it. A good salsa in your life and a little bit of just focus and attention. It's super easy. Then I'll go in with spring onions. And then here, just take 4 or 3 little bits of basil, right? And look here, purple basil. And then look where it's gone into flour, I'll take that. And these are amazing in a salsa. And then avocado. My family love these. Avocado can discolor, so a good little trick is to get some acid, lemon, lime, and then I can just squeeze a little bit of juice on this, and it kind of seasons the avocado in a lovely way, but also protects it. Little delicate, thin slices. I will add a little chili. I like the freshness that a chili gives you. Then fruit. I'm using a mango. I only need half. Take this mango into about 4, and then it's really easy to get my knife under the skin. It's so colourful, even the bees are floating around. All I'm going to give it is a nice seasoning of salt and then a good squeeze of lime juice. What I'm going to do is put my salmon on and get these going. By going skin side down, it's kind of protecting the fish. It's going to go crispy. Next up, the flatbreads. It's super, super simple. So you want 4 heaped tablespoons of self-raising flour and then 4 tablespoons of water go in, and that should make you perfect tacos. I want a little bit of salt in there just for seasoning and a little kiss of oil. Super simple. Move it around. As the bowl starts to be cleaned, we can get it out. Once you've given it a nice little knead up, just divide that into 4. Take one of those balls and we'll just dust away and roll these out thin. They take no time at all. So if I look at the salmon, it's probably ready for a turn now. The skin is looking amazing. Wow. Grab like any plate, dish, saucer, little bowl, and you can cut around it. Okay, so let's have a look at what we got here. Salmon is doing very, very well. Just grab one side and pull that skin off. So I'll lay that onto the bars and that will render out, and then put this salmon back on that peeled side. Can you see that skin sizzling? Oh, but what's really interesting, it's still malleable and still sort of quite soft, but the minute it starts to cool down, it goes crispy. Look at that, beautiful. And I can tell that the salmon is cooked gorgeously. If I just apply a little bit of pressure, it just flakes beautifully, look at that. Let's get these tortillas cooking. Look as the heat makes them puff up. Little bit of color on one side and hardly any color on the other side. So easy to make. Let's make a lovely couple of tacos. Tiny bit of yogurt. Then I'm going to take our salmon and I just want to kind of flake it. Then salsa. Look at that, fresh flavors. That ain't boring. And the little bit of juice is so good. And then you've got those crispy bits of salmon skin, and I just like to smash it up to give you that crunch. A few bits of basil, and there you go. The only thing I might do is take a little bit of chili oil. So let's have a try. A little taco of juicy goodness. Oh, wow. There is a dance going on in my mouth. Wow.